Introducing first, from Shangri-La, weighing 160 pounds, Gary J.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gateway Championship Wrestling here at the Wild Acres Gymnasium in Overland, Missouri for Sweet Revenge. I am Patrick the Intern, to be joined momentarily by Travis Cook. There you see the high-flying Gary J. on his way to the ring for our opening contest.
Opponent from Miami, Florida, weighing 223 pounds, Bryan Monterro.
And there you see Bryan Monterro, former member of the Watchmen. Very powerful individual, as you can plainly see. Tremendous technical wrestler, can take to the air as well. Should be an interesting contrast in styles here for our opening matchup, Travis Cook.
Should be a good one, too. The more popular athletes in Gateway Championship Wrestling, Bryan Monterro and Gary J. Gary J, a high flyer, if you will. But Monterro, so well-versed in so many styles. We've seen him, of course, be a powerhouse, but then again, he's got a martial arts background as well that we've seen, that he relies on very heavily. And bell's gone. We're underway here in St. Louis, Missouri, the most dangerous city in America with the most dangerous wrestling promotion in America, Gateway Championship Wrestling. Collar and elbow tie up in the center of the ring now. Gary J trying for a kick. Monterro firing back. Both men trying for the advantage. Gary J gets the go behind. Monterro trying to break the hands apart. Goes for the elbow. Goes underneath now into the wrist lock. And it's Monterro with the advantage.
Both these guys are about equal in terms of height. Monterro has a little bit of a weight advantage on Gary J.
He's got 65 pounds on him. So Gary J is going to have to take to the air. Headlock takeover, trying to keep the big man off balance. Travis Cook along ringside with Patrick the Intern. Glad you could join us here on Gateway Championship Wrestling home video. As a side headlock applied by Gary J, Monterro rolls through. Nice arm drag by the big guy.
Both of these guys, you'd think, would have the strategy to keep the opponent down on the mat. For Gary J, it would neutralize the power of Bryan Monterro. For Bryan Monterro, it would ground the high flyer, Gary J.
Gary J with an arm drag of his own now. And cranks over on the wrist lock. Monterro reverses, but Gary J with a neck vice now. Snap mare. Brings him back up into a front face lock. A little bit surprising that he brought Monterro back up. Monterro with a leg sweep to create some space. Drops the elbow right on the small of the back. And it's Monterro going for the front chancery now.
Monterro now using that power to maintain control on Gary J. Not letting him use those ropes to take to the air.
Oklahoma roll, count of 1, 2, no. Monterro, while he's well versed in the martial arts style and in the power style of wrestling, he can bust out a few scientific maneuvers like that Oklahoma roll. Drop toe hold from Gary J. Floats over to the front face lock now. Single out hooks the arm. Takes him over. Count of 1, no.
Good clean match thus far.
Arm drag takedown by Gary J. Speaking of clean, Patrick, could you bother to take a shower at some point before you show up here?
I showered this week.
Arm bar now by Gary J. On the young powerhouse out of Miami, Florida, Bryan Monterro. Great counter into a head scissors. And Gary J now trying to find some way to extricate himself from this. Look at that! Into a lateral press, gets one.
Nice maneuvering on the mat there by Gary J.
Gary J is so astute in the realm of balance. He almost hand stood his way out of that head scissors. But it's Monterro back to the hammerlock now. Underneath with a savant kick. Gary J didn't know where Monterro was coming from. Count of 2.
Both of these guys very multifaceted in what they can do. They can take it to you on the mat, in the air. Monterro obviously has the power advantage over Gary J in this particular matchup, stating the obvious, I would imagine.
Well, you're finally earning your money as a color commentator. Count of 2 by Gary J into the front facelock. Great maneuver by Gary J there, because as soon as Monterro kicked out, Gary J grabbed that front facelock, did not let him get back to his feet. Monterro now with a rolling mare into a crucifix. Count of 1, 2, no! I thought he's going to pull one out of his back pocket right there.
We've seen a lot of near falls in this one. Both guys going for the win.
Body slam in the center now. Monterro drops the knee. And he measured him. Count of 1, 2, no.
Gary J trying to get the fans behind him here. Crowd support is definitely evenly split here.
Well, both these guys are very much favorites of the fans here. Gary J, whoa, he put on the brakes.
Oh.
Now leg sweeps him into that turnbuckle. Double chop from a rolling position.
Now Gary J looking to fly here.
Drops the elbow right on the back of the skull.
That could be it.
Count of 1, 2, and Monterro rolls through.
We've seen him finish some opponents with that maneuver before, but Monterro in that case just a little too powerful.
Gary J now with the whip reversal by Monterro. Clothesline misses. Underneath goes Gary J. Second rope. Savant kick. Covers him 1, 2, but can't get the weight fully across him. When you're as of slight build as Gary J is, you've got to get every ounce that you have on the man's chest and upper body, or you can't hold him down. Look at that small package. Count of 1, 2.
But Monterro holding on to him.
Onto the shoulders. Uh-oh. Oh! Modified brainbuster. 1, 2. That is all. Here is your winner, Bryan Monterro.
Good effort by